Saturn's rings are vanishing, as per NASA report. By March 2025, an occurrence like this is expected, confirmed by NASA's assertion that Saturn's rings will become entirely imperceptible to us Earthlings. This essentially signifies the disappearance of the rings that have been a symbol of Saturn for millions of years, serving as a recognizable feature even to the youngest children familiarizing themselves with planets. Welcome to Spaceverse, your cosmic gateway to unraveling the mysteries of the universe. Our explorations are fueled by the latest findings from NASA and other space agencies, delivering insightful and accessible content that sparks your curiosity. Join us in unlocking the secrets of Saturn, exploring the potential for extraterrestrial life, and staying up to date with upcoming missions like NASA's Dragonfly expedition. Let's start. The question arises, what is causing this phenomenon? NASA entertains the possibility, linking it coincidentally or at the root of the issue, to Saturn's two moons, Enceladus and Titan. NASA speculates that these moons might harbor conditions conducive to life. However, the notion of intelligent life being responsible for Saturn's plight is not within NASA's current focus. It is temporarily set aside. Let's turn our attention to something intriguing. Examining three NASA images captured in different years reveals a curious pattern. The first image shows faint holes in Saturn's rings, which, after approximately 25 years, mysteriously disappear in the 2004 image. Subsequently, after the next 5 years, in 2009, these holes reappear. This suggests an enigmatic occurrence within Saturn's rings. In 2018, Dr. James O'Donoghue, a scientist at NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center, disclosed that NASA's teams were aware since the beginning that Saturn's rings were diminishing. However, owing to continuous studies conducted by the Voyager 1 and 2 missions over 3 decades, the projected timeline for this event was initially estimated at around 300 million years. Consequently, NASA did not actively pursue further investigation. Subsequently, due to heightened interest, NASA initiated a dedicated mission named Cassini to individually study Jupiter and Saturn. The Cassini spacecraft embarked on a billion-mile journey to Saturn, and it was during this mission that concerns about Saturn's rings intensified. Data obtained from the Cassini mission revealed that the holes in Saturn's rings resulted from a distinctive destructive phenomenon. Contrary to the initial estimation of the event taking 300 million years, the destructive process is anticipated to occur 3 times faster, within the next 100 million years, ultimately engulfing all of Saturn's rings. So, why is NASA indicating that Saturn's rings will disappear by 2025? The complete narrative will be clarified shortly. But before delving into that, in 2004, when Cassini was launched and subsequently reached Saturn, NASA observed that the planet's rings predominantly consisted of water and ice, a fact that may already be familiar. However, what they discovered was that the rain composed of icy water was rapidly descending onto Saturn in the form of rain. According to NASA, this rainfall is exceptionally swift, resulting in the filling of an Olympic-sized swimming pool in every small area of Saturn within just half an hour. Unlike Earth, Saturn lacks a water cycle system. There is no ocean on Saturn replenishing it, akin to Earth's water cycle. Instead, its rings are melting, leading to a continuous flow downward and flooding. Regrettably, there is no reversal of this process. Interestingly, Saturn itself plays a pivotal role in the melting of this ice, and the explanation behind this phenomenon is equally intriguing. Let's entertain the notion that Saturn desires to rid itself of this seemingly random gift. Here's the breakdown. UV light from the sun, upon reaching the ice cubes in Saturn's rings, prompts the water molecules in the rings of Saturn to harness that energy, transforming themselves into hydronium ions by adding an extra hydrogen ion. Ordinarily, these small hydronium ions could disperse anywhere in outer space. However, as you may be aware, electric charge and magnetism are 2 aspects of the same electromagnetic wave. Consequently, these charged hydronium ions are drawn towards Saturn's massive magnetic field. In doing so, they expel H+ ions, initiating the process of pouring water onto Saturn. Moreover, an in-depth study indicates that whatever is occurring on Saturn is an ongoing phenomenon. Consequently, with each passing second, all parts of Saturn's rings are gradually disappearing. Now, the question arises regarding those holes that vanish mysteriously, reappear, and then vanish again. How does this happen? During NASA's recent exploration of Saturn with Cassini, scientists noticed a crucial pattern in the holes on the rings. They observed that these peculiar patterns become more apparent when the duration of both day and night on Saturn equals each other, known as its equinox. This alignment occurs when Saturn's equator and its rings are precisely positioned with the Sun. For comparison, on Earth, this phenomenon happens only twice a year, on March 21st and 23rd September. However, due to Saturn's vast orbit, its equinox transpires once every 15 Earth years and extends over months rather than a single day. From this, a question arises. If during the equinox, Saturn's equator and rings align with the Sun, resulting in direct sunlight only on its outer ring, why are holes forming in the inner rings due to the melting ice? Undoubtedly, something else is transpiring in Saturn's rings, a puzzle yet to be deciphered. However, some independent physicists propose that this occurs because, during the equinox, the ions in Saturn's ring, instead of blending into the flat ring, begin forming spikes, creating standing structures while leaving holes underneath. According to these physicists, when the Sun's heat fails to reach the inner rings of Saturn during the equinox, these rings begin to cool. Consequently, the magnetic properties of certain elements within those rings intensify. For those unfamiliar, this is a common occurrence with magnetic materials. In any substance, atoms typically vibrate in various directions, causing the magnetic fields of those atoms to align in opposing directions and neutralize each other. However, when the heat diminishes, the atoms gradually cease vibrating, leading to an increase in net magnetism. In essence, if these physicists are correct, the substances within those holes may not have entirely descended onto Saturn. Instead, they might align with Saturn's robust magnetic field, causing some portions of Saturn's ring to fluctuate in the form of spikes. However, if this scenario holds true, why is NASA asserting that these rings will vanish entirely in 2025? As you've observed, no calculations thus far substantiate the rapid destruction of these rings. Furthermore, conflicting estimates range from 300 million years to 100 million years, with some suggesting that the elements within the rings remain unchanged, merely concealed above and below the rings. So, what is the reality and what is the misinformation? Amidst this perplexity, we took a step back and revisited the news of 2025 with a fresh perspective. We discovered that Saturn's rings will indeed disappear in 2025, but solely from the perspective of Earthlings. When we scrutinized NASA's specific mention of March 2025, a realization dawned on us. In that particular month, the alignment of Saturn's equator with the Sun and the Earth will be completely perpendicular. This implies that Saturn's rings, when viewed from Earth, will appear as if one is looking at a paper from its side. Considering the analogy of viewing a paper from a distance, what would one see? Essentially nothing. The paper would optically disappear. The same phenomenon applies to Saturn's rings, as the planet is situated so far away that a person would touch the Moon 18 times before reaching Saturn. Due to this alignment, NASA predicts that Saturn's rings will be temporarily invisible from Earth in March 2025. However, it is crucial to bear in mind that in 100 million years, these rings will ultimately face complete destruction and disappearance. Now let's address the final and most anticipated question for many viewers. As mentioned earlier, there is a possibility of alien life on 2 moons of Saturn. Why is this a consideration, and is intelligent alien life plausible there? Recently, NASA scientists have been exploring the moons Enceladus and Titan for signs of life capable of forming structures similar to cell membranes and initiating unique life processes. Reflecting on Earth's history 3 to 4 billion years ago, similar processes occurred. Initially, molecules called coacervates formed, eventually giving rise to fundamental life structures such as cell membranes, paving the way for the development of complex and diverse life forms. Cell membranes are vital for the creation of cells, serving as the protective barriers that maintain internal elements, fostering reactions and providing a stable environment for life to thrive. In the case of Saturn's moons, scientists have identified compounds, specifically acrylonitrile, composed of carbon. NASA suggests that these compounds can coacervate and collaboratively form cell membranes. Notably, unlike coacervates, which rely on water as a solvent, acrylonitrile utilizes methane and ethane as solvents, substances abundantly present on the moons of Saturn. Overall, Saturn's system appears favorable for sustaining a cell system based on acrylonitrile. This implies that in the future, a new type of acrylonitrile-based life could potentially evolve. While the groundwork seems promising, it requires time and validation through scientific theories. As we conclude this cosmic expedition, we hope you've enjoyed the celestial wonders uncovered on Spaceverse. If your curiosity is still soaring like a rocket, don't forget to subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications and explore more profound mysteries of the universe with us. Until our next interstellar rendezvous, stay curious, keep exploring, and may the stars illuminate your path.